any initiation on my own, he arranged an interview with Rabbi Berman. Rabbi Berman at the time was taking about 10 of his Talmidim to start a yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael. And Rabbi Gross felt that it would be great for me to go to Eretz Yisrael and with Rabbi Berman, and he spoke to him and he tried to convince him he should be mitzaref me to that group. Unfortunately, at the time, I had just graduated high school in Miami. I was not exactly a great Talmid Chacham, and I remember preparing a tosfos on Daf Yud Gimel in Bava Kama to tell over to Rabbi Berman for my faher. And I really knew the tosfos well, inside out. So I remember sitting there, and he said, and Rabbi Berman said, nope. So I told him over the tosfos, and I finished the tosfos, and he looked at me and he says, nope. Like, what more? That's a nice beginning. I had no idea what to do after that. So I didn't end up going with Rabbi Berman to Eretz Yisrael. I went to Telz, but Baruch Hashem, things worked out. But what impressed me was that Rabbi Gross was there from the first moment that I attended the academy, and never abandoned me, and always was there from the background, pushing a little bit where he thought this would be good for me, or that would be good for me, or whatever. A tremendous, tremendous hakaras hatov. One thing I want to mention, when I came back to Miami as a Rav, so as a young kanoi, so there was a day school in North Miami Beach, which wasn't being matzliach, and in the end, we decided we're going to start our own school. And at that time, a lot of the children were being bused to Miami Beach, to the Hebrew Academy, but it was not that comfortable. A lot of people were going to the conservative day school, community day school in the community, and we really felt that there was a need for a day school. And looking back now, the chutzpah of, here this young Talmud who had everything in the world to be hakaras hatov for the Hebrew Academy and for Rabbi Gross, starting his own school, which is competition, and their meetings together or whatever. And looking back, Rabbi Gross could have been very, very insulted, and at that point really abandoned me. And the Maisa wasn't like that. Right? Looking back with all the chutzpah of having such a thing and dealing with it, and not the way that I would deal with it now if I had to do it over again. I saw from that tremendous godless, tremendous godless. The l'shem shamayim of Torah is Torah, my Torah, somebody else's Torah, and even a chutzpah young Talmud who thinks he's going to be a kanoi, someday he'll learn too. And he kept up. I remember we had twins. Our first boys in Miami were twins, and Rabbi Gross named that first twin, and that was already, the circle came full circle. And Taka will never forget him. And every day I makir tova that whatever I have comes from the person who planted the seed, and he planted the seed. And he not only planted the seed, but he nurtured it over many, many years, even through the time that I came back to Miami, thought that I was, big shot, and now I'm starting the chinuch of my own. I still now look back and see who was in the background, and who, when he could have reacted, had he been stam, a person interested in his own interests in a much different way, reacted in a way that was befitting an Adam Gadol Ma'od, and continued to nurture me along, even though perhaps I didn't deserve it.
Speaking to the family, us, kids, grandchildren maybe, is there a lesson, what should we learn? What should we take away? Obviously there are a million things.
Your father, grandfather, he was a person who had tremendous mission in this world. Right? He was sent by his Rabbi to Miami. You have no idea what Miami was like in those times. I mean, I can't really appreciate it either, looking back. It was a midbar. There was nothing there. And he had a vision that he was going to build a Makom Torah there, a Malchus of Torah, and he did. He did. And everything that's there today is because he planted the seeds. I think the greatest lesson is that if you do something l'shem shamayim, and you do it for the right reasons, you do it l'man Hashem, which your father, grandfather did 100%, and you take all the bizyonos that's necessary, and you keep it in your stride, and don't let it deflect you from your mission. All of that rolled off his back like a duck's back, even though looking back now I can't be masig. How? But when you have a mission, and you know what you're doing is l'shem shamayim, and you know you're planting seeds, and you don't see the results right away, but little by little the results are there. It came in a beautiful building, in Kamus and in Eichus, and the truth is that every single thing that exists in Miami today, from the most Haredi to anything else, is only because of the schus of Rabbi Alexander Gross. They shouldn't have named the Hebrew Academy for him, they should have named the city for him. And that's the lesson to learn. If you have a mission, you know what you're doing is right? You don't have to worry about what people say, you don't have to worry about how it looks, you don't have to worry about the bizyonis you get. You work at it and you'll see the payers. And that I think is the greatest lesson you can learn from Rav Alexander Gross, Zecher Tzadik Livracha.